Okay, so, I don't know if you've ever asked the question, what was it like editing photos in 2003? Well, we're going to answer that question today. So, I've got PowerMac G4 with a dual 1.4 gigahertz processor. So, pretty nice spec for 2003, given that the G5 was a few months away. And then I've got here a Canon 10D, or I think it's a 10D. Yeah, it's a 10D. Shoots 6 megapixels on a crop sensor. So, I've been shooting with it for a little while, and what better way to test out this PowerMac than by doing some photo editing. Alright, so, first things first, this is before things like Photos could actually handle RAW files. And by Photos, I mean iPhoto, because Photos isn't around yet. So I used image capture to capture all the photos, and it took quite some time, so we're not going to go through that. But once I've got everything loaded, we're going to fire up Photoshop, because this is pre-Bridge. This is pre-Lightroom. This is pre-Apple Aperture. So there's really no way for me to look at raw photos outside of Photoshop. Now, if we were to hop over to Finder and take a look at Photo Library, we get previews of all of these pictures, little tiny thumbnails. But aside from that, I can't really get a good sense of it. Let's hop back over to Photoshop CS, so Photoshop 8, and we're going to use the file browser, which is essentially Bridge, but built into Photoshop. So we're going to look at this to kind of get a sense of what photos. Now, I've been taking photos of all kinds of things, but I think for today, the best bet will be, let's take a look at some of these possibly too dark photos of this machine itself. It's a nice looking setup. So let's double click on that, fire that up, and it's going to open up Camera Raw. Alright, so we don't have a whole lot of options. Actually, we have almost no options when it comes to Camera Raw at this time. So, let's do some normal things. Let's pull the exposure up. Don't look too bad, don't look too noisy. Where are we, 25%? Let's go to 100. Oh no, I don't have the grab tool, so now we're just zooming in. Alright, here's the grab tool. Oh, it's not the worst in noise. Still pretty good. Alright. Let's just let this preview. Actually, 100%. Panning isn't too laggy. Ooh, for good measure, let's pop open the activity monitor and just get a sense of if it's, you know, utilizing two processors. I want to show vertically. Alright, so now we've got that rolling in the background, and it does... it might be spiking the CPU, or this is just all GPU driven. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, it's recording. Alright, so we've just been zipping around here. I want to fit in the view again. Okay, so we pulled the exposure up. I'm going to tweak our shadows. Actually, I think we're going to leave the shadows pretty raised, because we can handle a lot of that in Photoshop once we get this sucker opened. Same with contrast. Let's try to give us the most information possible before we pull this open into any further. Alright, now for our sharpness, let's see here. Do we need to increase it? Or is that just really making it, I don't think that's making it much better. I also don't remember what it was set at before I started doing things. Let's see, what's the noise reduction? We're losing so much detail. Actually, I don't even think we can resolve that kind of detail with this sensor and the lens. Anyhow, that looks like that lens. I'm not going to get into this or super deep into the shadow tinting. If we were doing something more landscapey, I definitely would. All right, so once we've done that, let's open the file in Photoshop. Embed mismatch. Okie dokie. That's fine. Okay, so now we've got our photo open. We don't need to have that hogging up space in the background. Oopsies, clicked the wrong button. All right, let's hide others. Except I do want you here. And we're gonna switch to this mode, which is my preferred method of editing. And this dock is annoying, like usual, so we'll just hide that. I don't think I've looked at a dock in OS X in years. All right, so here we go. Now we've got our photo open, and we want to start editing it. And I'm realizing I am always shooting crooked, so we're going to just go ahead and show that. We're going to just ever so slightly do that. That looks a little bit better. All right, I don't need to show the bounding box anymore. Okay, so now we've got that. Now it's time to start playing with the color. So I think it's a little bit on the warm side for my taste. So what we're gonna do is, let's pop open one of these photo filters. And we're going to just use a simple cooling, ooh, too much, too much. And I'm going to say I actually liked it better warm, so that's fine. Let's just pull open the curves. Just want to just give it a little, ooh, too much. Let me pull those mids down. This photo is going high contrast so fast. I want it to not. I want our darks to be a little darker. This is all pretty responsive. I'm not super shocked by that. This is a fairly powerful machine, even given the day. All right, so there's that. Well, what we're gonna do. This is actually pretty nice out of camera. So we'll just whack the contrast back a touch. Maybe push our brightness a little bit. Well, you know what I am seeing? I forgot to remove this charger from the background. However, I'm pretty sure, because this is going to be going to Instagram, we're just going to crop it square anywho, but not yet. Well, because it's 2003, there is no such thing as AI yet. So we're going to have to remove this sucker manually. But luckily, the patch tool, which I'm pretty sure is fairly new, so we can just quickly, bam, gone. Didn't even have to pull out the clone stamp tool. Love that. All right, which we are at 100% now. All right, it is a little bit on the soft side. So we're going to go ahead and let's do a sharpen, unsharp mask on this. All right, I always have to swing it really hard, really far, so I can see what it's doing. It's not bad. Gotten that photo more or less tweaked a little bit. This honestly did not take a whole lot of work. Pretty straightforward photograph. Terrible example of performance. All right, what we are going to need to do is fixed aspect ratio of a 1:1. I'm going to make this Instagram size. Nope. Because I crookeded it. I gotta get around that. Cookie. Image crop. We have a pretty good looking photo so far, but I do want to add a screen into the screenshot. So, let's hide Photoshop. Or not Photoshop. Oh my gosh. Hide Photoshop. Ooh, you know what? Actually, I have changed my mind. Fire Photoshop back up. Let's do this whole kind of like meta stuff. All right, so we're gonna have that picture here. We're gonna hit Command-Shift-3. Fantastic. Pop this back into this mode. Grab that new photo. Open it in Photoshop. Yeah. I should probably be more pay attention to my color space, but that's okay. All right, now we're gonna come in here. Now we'll paste this in. Awesome, okay. Now I'm just moderately confused because I'm looking at a screenshot of what I'm working on. So we've got this here. Awesome. All right, let's pull this into the corner, right about there. Okay, now clicky click, and then believe I just can hold. You know, it's been 20 years and Photoshop still pretty much acts exactly as it's always acted. Interface basically looks exactly the same, basically functions the same. And to be honest, you couldn't tell me I was on an old computer right now. That's how snappy this is. This is all very painless. Just pull that over. Good. Dun dun. That kind of there. Should actually leave a little bit of space between. Woo! I keep hitting my hot corners. Okay. That looks like it's gonna be about right. Cool. Now we've got that. Don't show my bounding box. Alright, we're at, can you just go to 100% for me? There you go. Looks pretty good. But because we're kind of upscaling and messing with stuff, it's a little bit jagged, which is to be expected. So let's just make a duplicate layer of you, hide that, and then we are going to want to go ahead and select that. Layers here. I want to make a mask, and easy peasy. So now that we're masked in, good. I don't know why I duplicated that yet. Ooh, go away. Come on. Okay. Yes. Delete layer 1. Yes. Now I'll take this and duplicate that. Okay, there we go. Hide that. This is going to be our sharpening, or not sharpening layer. Our blur. So we're just going to take a little blur to it. Just to soften it a touch so it's not super jagged edged. We'll never really see this bright. Okay, so of course there should be reflection in the side of the screen, but we're not going to get into that level of detail. Okay, so we've got that in there, and now what we're going to want to look at is this seems overly bright for the rest of the photograph. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, we're going to make probably just do curves. Now we're gonna make it just a tad brighter. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and now we need to do here. Highlight the path again. Go into our layers. Oh, no. Dodo, there's already a mask. We just have to go edit, fill. And I want background color, I'm pretty sure. And I want the invert. I want to invert that. Whoopsies. All right. Where the hell is that again? Oh, here we go. There we go. Oh, you didn't do that. Whatever. There we go. Okay. So if we wanted to look at OG and with the edits. We really didn't do a whole lot to this picture. I feel like I have led everyone astray and we've done the most basic of basics. But there you have it. A quick little edit of a photo taken from a camera from the same vintage as this computer in Photoshop. From, again, the same vintage, all from around 2003. Pretty simple stuff, and it did not seem to tax the machine. So I think the next time we're going to have to try something a little bit harder. That said, let's make sure we save this out first before we forget about it. Alright, save you as a Photoshop. And then File, Save As. We'll do a JPEG. Yeah. Go. Well, that was largely uneventful, but now you have at least seen what it was like editing a fairly simple photo in Photoshop CS, or version 8. Alright, well there's that. Till next time, just because it's old doesn't mean it sucks. Bye.